What is going on, guys? In this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to balance a Glidecam or a stabilizer. So there's a few videos on YouTube that already talk about this, but a lot of them are kind of complicated, hard to follow. So I'm going to show you guys the things that help me being able to figure out how to stabilize this, and then hopefully that helps you. So for this video we're going to be using a Flycam HD3000. So if you have that, then it's going to be easier to follow along. But almost all the Glidecams and stabilizers are built the same exact way and balanced the same exact way. So it's going to be kind of universal for you guys if you have a Glidecam or stabilizer. And if you do want to pick up this exact same model, the Flycam HD3000, it's only like $120. It's a really good budget stabilizer. It has really nice footage that isn't shaky. I'll throw some footage on the screen right now and be panning back and forth. So I'll leave a link down in the description. Definitely go pick that up if you guys are interested. And also one more thing before I talk about how to balance this, if you guys were looking for a video on how to assemble this, I'll leave a link down below on a video that'll help you guys know how to build this. Okay, so let's start and try and balance this. So before I start this, I just want to let you guys know that I'm using only one weight on each side. So it's different for everyone, but for this I'm just going to be using one weight. I feel like the less weight you have, the better, just because this thing gets heavy, especially if you're carrying it for hours, if you're using it for a wedding or a music video. Also, this thing is completely unbalanced. This was originally balanced for my Sony a6300, but I'm using that to record this video right now. So I actually have my friend's camera on here right now just to use as an example, and then I'm going to show you guys how to balance this completely. So the very first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to take the stabilizer like this, hold it like this, and we're going to go like that. So the way to balance this axis is you hold it like this, and then it's supposed to take 2 seconds to go from here to here. So if you hold it like this, let's let go and see how long it takes. So 1 Mississippi, about 1. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take this little knob right here, we're gonna loosen it up. And once that is loose, we can actually change the size of this pole. So I'm gonna probably drop it down to about right here, and then I'm going to fix that knob up again. So I'm gonna tighten that up, and then I'm gonna go back and I'm going to test it now. So hold it like this, and then let it drop. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. So I think that was a little bit too slow. So I'm gonna just bump that up a tiny bit. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. So that's pretty good. So now we have our vertical balancing all right. So if I go like this, you'll see that it's just kind of tipping forward. So we're gonna have to change those 2 axes. But in terms of our vertical stability, this is actually looking pretty good, like that. So now what we're gonna do is we're actually going to balance using this thing. So this is the thing that I wanted. This is one of the reasons why I mainly wanted to make this video. Out of all the videos I talked about, they didn't really show a good example of how to turn these knobs and how to change this and balance this correctly. So I'm just gonna show you guys right here. It might be too dark to actually see, but I've actually carved in a B and an F right here. This stands for back, this stands for forward, with a little arrow going like this and an arrow going like that. So the reason why I did that is because I wanted to memorize, if I turn the knob to the right like this, it's going to go forward. If I turn the knob to the left like this, it's gonna move backwards. So for example, if my weight is moving too forward, if I'm holding it and it starts tipping like this forward, then I would turn the knob to the left and it would go backwards. So that's a really good tip I have. Highly recommend if you carve a B on the left, B and an F on the right for back and forward, just so you guys can memorize. But anyways, let's start off by actually loosening all of these big knobs. So you can actually tell the difference. This knob right here that has the kind of like, imprint and the texture, as well as this one right here on the side that has the imprint and the texture. These 2 knobs are the ones that actually change something. Everything else, this just loosens stuff and tightens it up. So all these big knobs, we're actually just gonna turn that and make them all loose so that we can actually make our changes. And then there's also on the bottom of it, you can see there's some knobs, so we're going to turn that as well. Okay, so now everything's loose and now we can change all our values. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna hold this and I'm gonna see how this tips. So it's tipping really forward. So like I said with that thing, if it's tipping very forward, I'm gonna go for back and turn left. I'm just gonna keep turning like that. And now I'm gonna go back and I'm just gonna show you. Still tipping a bit forward, so I'm just gonna keep turning left for back. Like that. And then let's see. Still going, so we're gonna have to pull this back a lot just because there's a lot of weight there. Okay, so for this camera, I pulled this all the way back as far as it can go. And I'm just gonna show you guys that it still tips a little bit forward, like this. But as you can see, this is as far back as we go. So what you'd have to do is you'd actually have to add more weight onto the bottom of these. So I've gone in and actually added another weight on each side. So one here, just by actually unscrewing these and just adding the extra weights that were provided on. And now if I show you guys, you'll see that this is actually a lot more. So here's what it looks like. So only tipping forward a tiny bit so I can just try and pull that a little bit more. And if I really wanted to, I can add another weight, then change around the settings, try and get it more perfect. So if I hold it like this, you guys can see that it's actually looking already pretty balanced. The left and the right axis isn't that messed up, and I could actually go with this. But just for educational purposes, I'm just gonna take the left knob right here and I'm gonna mess it up just to show you guys what it would look like if you guys are having problems and need to adjust that. So I just messed it up a little bit, moved it, and I'm just gonna hold this to show you guys how it tips. So as you can see, it's tipping to the right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that knob like I was showing, the one on the side right here. I'm gonna take that and I'm going to actually pull that back the other way. It'd be hard to actually see it, but you can actually see the knobs turning right here. If you see this silver part here, whenever I turn this back and forth, that'll move. And if you look through and you can see back there, I'll turn the knob for you guys. You can actually see the kind of screws turning left and right. So if you guys are confused, with what direction you're actually turning it and how to actually fix that, just kind of look close and turn the knobs and look at the screws that are inside and see which way the screws are going. It takes a little bit of trial and error, so just see how that's looking. Still going a little bit to the right, so we're just going to keep going to the left. And that's actually looking good. So if you see I move like this, it's actually pretty balanced. And what a lot of people don't actually talk about is whenever you're using a Glidecam like this, you should have one hand like this. You should also have another hand like this, kind of like pinching it so that it stays a little bit straight. But don't straight hold on to this because this will mess up the whole axis. So take it and just kind of like pinch it like this to make sure it stays as straight as possible. And then this is what you also use to be able to turn it. So instead of going like this and trying to turn the weight, what you do is you pinch it and you can kind of turn the pole just by doing little pinches, but try and do as light touches as possible. As you can see, I can move it up and down, left and right, and it stays pretty straight. Like I said, if I was walking, I'd be pinching it. There aren't a lot of videos out there that actually showed how to really do it the right way, so there was some trial and error that took me to actually figure it out. So I hope this actually helped you guys be able to balance that quick. But anyways, like I said in the description down below, you can definitely go pick this up for cheap. If you guys are shooting handheld, this is a must get. This will actually take your videos to the next level. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.